Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome back to my channel, Unchurched with Kanye. Let us talk. So before I start talking, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel. It's right there. Just click subscribe after you watch this video, and comment down below whatever you think about the topic we're going to discuss today, which I am a little bit nervous about, but I really feel like it's something that I am supposed to be talking about. So I listened to an Oprah and Toni Morrison interview recently, and it really brought up a lot for me when it comes to sexual abuse and sexual assault. But what I want to focus on today is what I feel is, not what I feel, what a lot of us feel and agree on based on that interview they did, is that there's a big difference between rape and molestation. Rape is violent in nature, and molestation is deceptive in nature. So a molester makes you feel like you are loved. They create a safe environment where you feel like you're into the secrecy of whatever is going on between the two of them, and they usually go for kids who are starved of attention, kids who are emotionally and at times physically abused in their homes. And so, as you can tell, really nervous talking about it, but we are going to push through. But why am I talking about this first? I want to be clear that I'm sharing this because I want parents to understand that just because your child is not telling you what's happening doesn't mean that it's not happening. Like I said earlier, the thing with molestation is that it disguises itself as love and protection, and a lot of times kids don't come forward and say what's going on with them because they feel that that person loves them. For example, like I'm a survivor, if you will, of molestation, and I write about it in my book Traveling While Black and Lesbian, and what I say is the uncle who molested me, when he stopped and he started getting girlfriends, I confessed to feeling jealous, like, oh, he took that attention from me. And it was part of the work that I had to do in healing and saying, no, that wasn't love, that was cruel, that was deceptive in nature. And so a lot of the times your child is not, it's not that they, what Oprah says that really hit me hard is like, you feel good when you are being molested, and I say that with a lot of discomfort, and I say that because it's really difficult to say and to hear, but you are not thinking this is painful or this is bad. And there's that period also of being groomed as a child where the person, they fake interest in the things that you're interested in. For example, my uncle, he would join in the children's games that we would play, and that made him feel like, oh, he's one of us. And he would also, because I know that he knew that I needed the attention that he was giving, he would always pick me to be in his team, even though I was so bad at anything that had to do with sports. And that for me was him grooming me and making me feel like, oh, we're in the same team, we speak the same language, he loves me, he's on my side all the time, until that happened. And by the time the molestation starts, really it's, you have already established a relationship with this person, however that relationship looks like. And so I think what I want to really drive home with this point is to parents of young girls and young boys out there, sometimes I thought about this, earlier today, is there are those moments when your child is playing with someone and you feel it right here. There's a second where you think there's something inappropriate with the way that this playfulness is going on. And I want to encourage you to really trust that feeling, because a lot of the times parents are like, oh, why would I think that Uncle so-and-so loves my child? He will never do it. But there is that second where your intuition settles in and you feel like it's a little too much, whatever that interaction is. And you have to trust that. And I also think that kids who are usually shy, a lot of the times, for example, I was shy, but I'm not a shy adult. And I think my fear, the way I expressed it, was being shy and reclusive and not talking. And that is, I think, a telltale. That's when you want to start having these conversations, especially if you can see your child go from being super playful and happy and excited to drawing into themselves and not playing and not smiling and looking like something is going on, instead of just saying, oh, they're just growing up and they have an attitude or whatever. 8-year-olds don't have an attitude, something is wrong. So I want to encourage you to really dig into what that could be. And I know that it's hard being a parent, and I know that you are working overtime and you are tired and a lot of things are going on in your life as well. But really, I think if you can just take those moments, those few minutes in the day to spend time with your kids and really have calm conversations, then you will know what's going on. There's a term that really irks me in my language. They say uthanda indaba zabantu abadala, and that means you like people's business, old people's business. And so when old people talk about sex, they say, stop being around here when we're talking about old people stuff. What you're telling that child is sex is an old people thing and they shouldn't have a conversation with you about it. And so when molestation happens, in their head, sex is an old people thing and they shouldn't be talking about it. So you've already created an environment where they should be afraid. And so I think we need to change that tone when it comes to our kids, because I'm going to have them one day where they can feel comfortable. Because if your child has certain topics that they are afraid to talk to you about, they will not share the most intimate parts and the most hurtful parts of themselves with you. The number of teachers out there who are molesting your children is so high. I remember when I was in primary school, one of the girls, I think we were in, I'm old, we used to say standard 4, which is probably grade 8 now. One of the teachers was rumored to have been dating a girl in my class, and it's something that happens a lot. And that's one of the reasons as well, because these teachers use words like, I love you, I'm in love with you, I'm so into you, you're the best. And that's when they start sexually molesting your children, because it's a predatory attitude towards kids, and it's pedophilia. That's what I want to call it, because a grown 28-year-old man should not find a 10-year-old sexually attractive. It's just not okay. So I want to be clear in saying that like I said, I'm a survivor of sexual molestation, and I feel like if there were grown adults in my circle at the time who could read me in ways that I needed to be read, because people who molest you, like I said, it's a whole thing of secrecy. They want you to keep the secret. And what molesters do differently from rape is they make you feel like you want to keep the secret. The secret is not vested in fear. It's vested in this thing of, oh, we'll both be in trouble. We're doing this together because we love you. I love you. We love each other. It's you and me here. and so there's a lot of that, and I really wanted to share about this topic and to say that there is a difference. I remember when I felt it, I was like, well, I've gone through sexual assault in my life, but I can't really call it rape because it didn't have those violent overtones of rape, and I knew that it was painful, and I knew that something was being taken from me without me permitting for it to be taken, but it was. However, it wasn't. When people talk about rape and the guns and the beating, and I was like, I don't relate to that. And so when I listened to these two amazing women and they were talking about it, I was like, oh, that's what that was for me. That's what that was happening, and that is what's happening to a lot of your children. And I want you to take comfort in knowing that there are ways for you to know, and that there are ways for you to protect them. So that is my short video for this week. That is what I wanted you to hear in Unchurched with Kanye this week. And if you are a parent and if you need someone to talk to, or if you are a child, because kids have access to the internet now and you need someone to talk to, or if you are an adult who is struggling with reconciling with the fact that you were sexually molested as a child or raped or whatever, I want you to know that you can always talk to me. I am a licensed counselor, so I won't bullshit you. We can have really raw and authentic conversations, and just know that you are not alone. This is not something that will define you. This is not something that will make you not succeed in life and be the best version of yourself. So many of us have come through on the other side, and it is traumatic, and we are always healing from our childhood traumas. So I want you to know that you are not alone, and you have people around you who love you. And you need to talk. You can always just shoot me an email. You can find me on Instagram at Kanyesamnyaga, or you can also find me on Facebook. And yeah, that's all that I have to say. Remember to subscribe to my channel and be kind to one another. Bye.